everybody, and welcome to Confidence Tea Infusions. I am so excited that you guys are here. We get to have an amazing conversation, obviously, over a nice cup of tea. So, cheers. You see my teacup? So, I am so excited about tonight. I have a very special guest with us tonight. Miss Antonia Douglas is going to be joining us. She is the author of Controlling Your Crazy, and I'm going to introduce her a little bit later. But I first want to kind of tell everybody, if this is your first time tuning in, or if you're not familiar with Confidence Tea Infusions, basically what Confidence Tea Infusions is, it's a conversation between girlfriends over a cup of tea. So grab your favorite cup of tea and allow me to pour you this mind transforming, soul edifying, confidence activating tea. This is a conversation, so please, I want you guys to be interactive. Say hello in the chat. Let me know you're here. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Chime in at your leisure. It's meant to be a dialogue, not a monologue. And I love to conversate and I love to connect with you all. So definitely let the chat just be live. I just want to hear it. Ding, 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 ding. I look forward to just connecting with everybody that's on tonight. So let me know where you're from. Let me know if you know me, if you don't know me, if this is your first time tuning in. Welcome. I'm Virginia Madison, but everyone who knows me calls me Gigi. They know me as a Jill of many trades. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology as well as a minor in family business and another bachelor's degree in theology. I am a registered esthetician. I am a licensed insurance broker, as well as a master life coach and certified etiquette consultant. So with that said, I have more degrees than a thermometer, but what I am most proud of is being the founder and CEO of Gigi Inc., which is Girls Igniting Greater Inner Strength. We're a nonprofit confidence building organization for girls ages 12 to 18, where I help girls journey through adolescence with healthy self-confidence and positive self-esteem so that they can win the mental, physical, and emotional battles of adolescence. In our Girls Igniting Academy, we offer confidence building workshops, courses, mentorship programs, and camps for girls virtually or in person. And so I've spent several years working with adolescent girls in various capacities. But one of the things that I realized is that women need confidence as well. And so, with that being said, this is why I created Confidence Tea Infusions, because I wanted it to be an instrument where we provide tools to encourage and promote women to walk boldly in their purpose and with confidence. So I am so excited that you guys are joining me tonight. Again, Confidence Tea Infusions is a conversation between girlfriends designed to transform your mind, edify your soul, and most importantly, activate your confidence. So today we have a very special guest, Toni Douglas, who is the author of Controlling Your Crazy. She is referred to as the Crazy Coach because she coaches women out of going crazy while they are casually dating. She is the author of Controlling Your Crazy While Dating Your Non-Existent Boyfriend. Toni has written a guide that teaches women how to take control while dating by substituting emotional urges in exchange for well thought plans. She is also a relationship columnist for Creative Magazine. And so, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Miss Toni Douglas. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
I am well. How are you? Thanks for that extravagant introduction.
I'm here. I'm happy you're here. Glad you made it. I'm so excited about the
Yes.
conversation we get to have tonight.
Me too. Me too. I'm ready.
Yes. So tell us, I know I kind of, I gave you like the book version of an introduction, but please introduce yourself and just, tell those that are listening a little bit about you.
Sure. So I am Toni once again, but I am known as the Crazy Coach. Okay. That's a self-proclaimed title. A lot of times you hear dating coach, relationship coach. I like to kind of toss those titles only because when you hear dating coach and you hear relationship coach, you automatically put those persons in a box. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm the crazy coach. So
I
I'm the
like it.
one forcing you to, inquire about that. What is a crazy coach? And
What's
then
the crazy coach?
two, right. It's a play on my whole brand. It's not to say that women are crazy by definition. It's just that sometimes we let
We
our
tend to
emotions
get a
get,
little
yeah,
crazy.
the best of us. So, as you said, I am a published author. I'm the relationship columnist for Creative Magazine. Yes, thanks for the support.
And I got a
And
shot glass too.
and I'm just your everyday girl here to keep it real and give you the advice that you need, not want, but need to hear.
Okay. I am so excited. So I started following you before the book came out when it was still a blog. And
Yep.
I had gotten so into it because I thought nobody had relationship issues. I thought it was just me. And I was reading, as I was reading some of the things you used to have on the book, I was like, yeah, that happened to me too, girl. Yes. And it was just so interesting just to know that women everywhere were going through similar struggles, like in the dating realm.
Absolutely. And
Um,
yeah, to your point, dating is a part of living. I don't
mhm.
care what gender you are, what race, your preference in you know, uh sexuality. Dating is a part of life unless you are a monk or a nun, okay? And we don't see much of those walking the streets.
Not
Um,
really.
so that said, a lot of us are gonna have commonalities when it comes to dating and the hiccups in dating. And just like any other facet in life, what you may think you're the only, you may think you're the only one going through that issue, when in actuality, it's very common. A lot of
Hmm.
women are experiencing the same things you are because dating is a part of life. If you are living and you're single, you're not a nun, you're not a monk, more than likely you're going to date at least one time in your life.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So let's clarify because I always have people where, like, single, the definition of single. So in my mind, I have always considered the word single to be unmarried, meaning, you're in courtship, you're in dating. And so I want to hear your definition of single because I'm like, I want to know, am I looking at it the wrong way or am I,
Okay.
not?
So my definition, I'm not going by IRS's definition. My definition of single is you do not have a mutual title or a companionship with someone else.
Okay.
That's my definition. So if
Okay.
you and another person have not mutually agreed to
Hmm.
said title, you are single. I, you
Got
know,
it.
I would hate to just think that single simply means unmarried.
Okay.
If that were the case, then monogamy wouldn't have a role in relationships or trust or
Okay.
loyalty. So to think that single is just limited to, you're single until you're married, no.
Okay.
Single is you don't have a title. You
Got
don't
it.
got no title. You ain't nobody
Okay.
girlfriend, wife, fiance. You're single.
You're single. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a great breakdown. So, if you're just joining us, chime in. We're talking with the one and only crazy coach Tony, author of Controlling Your Crazy While Dating Your Non-Existent Boyfriend. Yes. And so definitely join in on the conversation and we're just warming up really. And so I've been seeing the term non-existent boyfriend everywhere, plastered on your website, plastered on your IG, all over your social media. You got the t-shirts, non-existent boyfriend. And like, let us know, like, what is the non-existent boyfriend? Let's break that down for the people so we can really get clarity on the non-existent boyfriend.
Sure. So it's interesting because in my book and on my shirt, I have two different definitions, right? I did put both in the book, but on the shirt, right? He is the man that you want to function and play a role, regardless of where you guys stand, regardless of any, title. And in my book, where I kind of keep it more cutthroat, he's the man that's not your man. So I
Mm.
give him the term non-existent because he is existent in the flesh, yes, but emotionally
He's
he's
not there.
non-existent. He's not there, and not because he may not like you necessarily, but just
Mm-hmm.
because he's not there yet. He's not
Mm-hmm.
there yet,
Okay.
right?
Okay. So we call him non-existent. So
Correct.
we have to recognize as women that are dating with confidence, like that definition is important because we need to know if he's non-existent or if he's present. And
Correct.
so what are some ways and I mean we're just diving right in now. Like what are some ways we can distinguish like right off the bat, are you this non-existent boyfriend or are you existent?
Okay, great question. Um, what I love about men, okay, um, in spite of what a lot of women may think, they're very black and white.
They are.
Meaning, sure, you have some in the middle, some gray areas, but for the most part, men are very black and white. When they like what they see, when they know what they want, they're gonna put their stamp on it.
Mm-hmm.
So he becomes existent when he mutually agrees to be in a relationship with you. And oftentimes it's asking you to be his partner, asking you to date exclusively. Those are hard, defined lines. And if those hard, defined lines, those conversations have not come up, he is non existent. I don't care if you guys have been casual dating for 3 years.
Oh,
If he has not said, Gigi, I would like for us to date exclusively. Gigi, let's call a spade a spade. I want you to be my girl. That's not your man. Therefore, he is non existent.
oh wow. So okay. So this is good. So even though we've been in a relationship for
Relationship,
huh?
you
Hold
said
on.
relationship.
Okay, let's say we've been dating. Okay,
Okay.
let me correct my terminology. So let's
Okay.
say we've been dating for a year. Yet he hasn't said like this is casually dating. We go out on dates. We might have even gone on vacation. But we have not like when he introduces, right? He doesn't say this is my girlfriend or this is my. There's no title. So
Mm-hmm.
that is still considered, even though the timeline, because I think as women, we tend to focus on the length of time versus the words or even actions sometimes. We focus, oh well, I've been, I've been
Yep.
knowing him for a year or 2 years or whatever. So help us clarify that again one more time for all the ladies that are watching so that they
Sure.
understand.
Yeah. And here's the thing, and I say this in my book several times. We are in control, Gigi, of our dating lives.
We are.
The moment you exchange numbers with him or however you met him, you
Mhm.
are in the driver's seat.
That's
You
right.
relinquish that control when you allow him to dictate when you guys are going to be official, or when you allow him to you know give you that hard title after all this time has passed. See, the problem here is we let men casually date us for too long. So now we're
Mm,
confused. Now we're
okay.
using time as a measure of our status when it doesn't
Eh,
work that way.
That's not
Time
how
is
it
time.
works.
Status is
Okay.
status. Those are two separate things. And you cannot use time to dictate your status with a
I
guy.
love that.
Yeah, you're
Girl,
in
that is
control.
somebody
So
post that in the chat. Can't use time.
yeah. And when you see that 3 months, 4, 5, 6 months have gone by, and you haven't, addressed or asked some hard questions or made a decision to move on, then he's going to do what he's comfortable with. You're going to continue to be confused, which
Hmm.
really you shouldn't be confused because he hasn't asked you to be his girlfriend. So clearly he's showing you where you stand. But
Exactly.
that's where the problem lies. And now you're here having casually dated this guy for 18 months with no
Wow.
title, and he's still referring to you as Gigi.
Wow. And then I've seen it in certain scenarios where he tells you, now this hasn't happened to me, but then he tells you he's getting married or something. Like what? Wait a minute.
Yeah,
I have seen that happen where the girl is thinking this is going great and they're casually dating and but there's no official title, and then the man goes off and the very next person is wifey, and
yeah,
you was there for and you didn't get nothing.
yeah.
So
Or maybe she was there all along and you didn't
that
know.
too. You didn't
Yeah,
set no boundaries. You didn't set no rules. You didn't set no, So let's talk about that. Like, so we talked about that. You said something very important. You said that we allow men to date us casually for too long. So let's dive into that a little bit. Like, what is the appropriate time frame that we should allow a man to casually date us?
so I'm not big on numbers, okay?
And that's fair.
I was an English major, okay? So
Mhm.
I'm not big on numbers. It's hard to put a number on when you should sleep with him, when he should be your boyfriend. But women,
Mhm.
we have enough emotional intelligence to
We do.
know and to feel when the time is
It's
right.
right. That's true.
It's no different than when you know he's the wrong guy and you get
Okay.
that, feeling, and you can dictate by,
Okay.
you
Like
know,
he's not it.
he's not it. By month
Uh-huh.
one, he's not it. So if you can feel that he's not it, then you can also feel that he is it. And when you let all these months play out, you know, it, time is just going by. And, again, I can't put a number on it, but you should know, he should know. And again, if the conversations are had from the very beginning, and, as the friendship is building, you won't even be in the predicament where you're questioning, well, is this the right time? Should he ask me to be his girl by now? Because you guys would have been having these ongoing conversations.
Conversations. Okay, so you feel that the direct approach is, I'm assuming based on what you just said, as far as having the different conversations, that taking a direct approach, as far as if you're a woman and you're dating, you should feel comfortable to ask a man, okay, what, like, where do we stand, or like, is that what you're saying, as far as like
Not quite.
okay,
See, the what are we and where do we stand? It usually comes when you realize that he's not making any moves. It
okay,
usually comes when you've realized you haven't had the conversation. See, and I know every relationship is different. One size doesn't fit all, but I can just think about my own experiences, the ones that
hmm
went well and the ones that didn't go so well. And the
hmm
ones where I found myself asking him, so, what are we? Those are the ones where we casually dated for way too long. Certain topics weren't brought up for whatever reason.
okay,
And the relationships that worked out, that never came up
hmm
because, again, and I hate to sound redundant, ongoing conversations were happening. Certain topics were brought up. We knew how each other felt about dating. I knew how he felt about me. He knew how I felt about him. Nothing was, taboo or secret, or, we communicated. So that, what are we? I really, really try to push women to not ask that question. You
okay,
shouldn't have
okay.
to. And if you find yourself asking that question, it's because he's not dating you with any purpose.
Yeah, he hasn't set the intentions. And I can think back to my own, journey. And I think about some of the relationships I had where the men were very forward. They were very direct. They
Yep.
let me know immediately, this is what they're looking for. These are the qualities, like they would point out qualities in myself that I didn't even know that,
Yeah.
oh, like really? Okay, all right, great. Let me add that to my list. And then there were those relationship or those there were those dating experiences where it was just kind of like, and I find myself, wondering like, okay, what's going on? And so just thinking about that makes me, realize where I went wrong, you know, in those situations. So
Yeah,
definitely,
I
definitely.
hear you.
Definitely. Ladies, if you're on, let us know you're here. Chime in if you have any questions for our crazy coach. She's going to keep us from going off the edge
Right?
with these non existent boyfriends. Yes. So, um, let's talk about okay, so the non-existent boyfriends, obviously, these are the types of men we should obviously avoid is the non-existent. So, what are some no?
No, but I'll let you
No?
finish your question. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say what are some eye-opening like beware that we should be aware of if to see okay, is this a non-existent boyfriend? Is he a non-existent boyfriend? Am I in this so I guess that was the question I was trying to get to.
Okay, great question. Um, the day you meet him, Gigi, he's your non-existent boyfriend.
Got it. Okay.
He is the man that you are casually dating. He's not your
Okay.
man, there's no title, but he exists, he's there, he's a non existent boyfriend. And it's
Okay.
funny because I remember writing a blog some time ago, and that was the whole premise of the blog. The day you meet him, you regard him as your non existent boyfriend. You plant that in your head. Because when you kind of, take on this idea that he's not your man and you kind of let that play out, you move a little differently, right?
Okay.
And you
Hmm.
let your emotional intelligence and your intuition work in your favor. So you can't avoid the non existent boyfriend. If you're dating, you're going to have one or several, all right? But he's
Okay.
non existent until he's actually your man.
Got it. So, with that being said, as it relates to dating, do you feel that in the dating pool that women, I think this was one of the blogs, that women should be dating multiple, like they should have multiple options
Absolutely.
as it relates to dating. Expound on that a little bit because I guess that was one of the areas where I made several mistakes because I would focus on that even though he's non-existent. Like I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus on this. I'm focusing in on that person because
Yeah.
there's potential there. And so you don't want to talk to nobody else. You don't want to give out your number to anybody else. You don't want to because you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna, put all my eggs right into this basket and see how that goes before I open up that door for someone else. So
Right.
expound on that a little bit. Educate us, school us, girl.
So, okay. Dating, it has a very wide spectrum. That word date. It could mean being intimate, going on vacation, meeting mom. It could be all these things. And then on the other end of the spectrum, it could be hanging out once a month, going out for ice cream, right?
Okay.
Talking
Okay.
on the phone every now and again. So I'm bringing all of that up to say, I'm losing my train of thought. Dating. Ask me your question one more time. I'm sorry. I want to hit this on the
So
nail.
as it relates to dating multiple people
All right.
at a
Yes.
time.
Thank
Hmm.
you. All right. So I brought that up to say a lot of women kind of fear that. Oh my gosh, I don't want to date multiple men because that might mean I got to sleep with multiple men. Or that might mean I can't focus and hone in on one guy who might be really special. And dating doesn't have to be the same for everybody. So
Hmm.
if I meet three men, one could be the one I'm most seriously interested in. One could
Okay.
be the once a month we get ice cream. One could be, we have a few phone conversations here and there. And the reason I encourage women to date more than one guy is because you don't put all your eggs in one basket, as you said. Because when we do that, we tend to not only put our eggs in one basket, we throw everything in that basket,
Yeah. Everything.
right?
Hmm.
Everything, our emotions, our time, right?
Our
um,
energy.
our energy, and when you find that you can spread your emotions, spread your energy, spread your time, um, it allows you to not have to pour your all into one guy that you're still getting to know.
Yeah.
And that's just my opinion. I've heard some people, have different opinions who say, no, don't date multiple men. It's okay to date one guy at a time. And it is. However, if you find that that hasn't worked in your favor, maybe you should try something new. And the
Yeah.
easiest way to do that, Gigi, is probably online dating or going to places where there are a lot of men at any given time, like a bar,
Okay.
or a networking event. But I highly encourage women to date multiple men, multiple just meaning two or more. You
Okay.
can limit it to two at a
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Nothing's wrong with that. Play it safe. And you'll see a huge difference than when you only focus on one guy.
Yeah, I think it's important in my personal experience when I have focused on the one person, it takes you on this journey, and then you start to, because you're only given one thing. It's almost like going to the buffet, but you only pick one type of food.
Yeah,
you know
that's a good
and
analogy.
so and so you get, now it might work in your favor, whereas, okay, this is your favorite type of food, so you love it, but it might be something that there's something on that buffet table that's a lot better, and you're missing out because you're stuck on this one thing. And so, I think that is a great way to really break it down.
Yes, and I
Be-
have this egg analogy. It kind of works in the opposite.
okay.
So when you go to buy eggs,
Hmm.
you either get 6 or you get 12. They never
Right.
just give you one,
Ah.
because that egg could be bruised, it could be cracked, it could be
Uh-huh.
old.
I
You
love
get you
that.
get yeah, you get 12 or
You
you
get
get
12 eggs.
6. Yes. So you can pick and choose. So it kind of
Mhm.
works in the contrary to how we know what eggs in a basket mean, all eggs in a basket, but the idea is you just don't get one egg. You get a variety. You get
That's
a
true.
whole, they may look the same, right? You're all men, and they may
Hmm.
all be black if that's your thing, or they may all be the professional type if that's your
Hmm.
thing, but you get to choose, because
Yeah.
not every egg is going to be perfect. Not every egg may fry right.
All
Not
eggs are
every
not
egg,
created equal.
all eggs are not created equal, but at least you get to choose. You
Yes.
go home with that one egg, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's important because I feel like the biggest thing for single women, I would say, that are in this dating pool right now, and I'm speaking for myself because I'm in this dating pool, and that's what we do sometimes is we go home with that one egg, and we just stuck with that egg, and we just like we trying to make the egg work, like we're trying to make the egg fit. And
Yep.
sometimes it's just easier to have 6 eggs, because if it's cracked, instead of me trying to get some super glue and try to fix the cracks in this egg, I wish I would have just had another egg, because then I would have just been like, you know what, this one's broken.
Exactly. I love that. You trying to scramble it, you trying to make an omelet, you trying to boil it. You only got that one egg.
One egg. And so that is just so good. That is good. I hope y'all ladies caught on to that. Okay, somebody said, let me see. Cherie said, don't keep all your eggs in one basket. And then we have multiple eggs. Yes. And someone said, Kim said, oh boy, one egg. Yeah, we don't want one egg. We
Well,
need
when,
multiple
when
eggs.
when has one egg ever worked for us, even as women, childbearing women? I mean,
No, it
when has one
doesn't.
egg ever worked?
You can't even eat just one egg.
Exactly.
Who does
Exactly.
that? Who does that?
Exactly.
Who eats one egg? If you
Who
eat
eats
one
one
egg,
egg?
let me
That's
know.
funny.
Let me
Yeah.
know, because I know I gotta have at least two.
I need
I
my 2 eggs. I
I
need my
gotta
two
have
eggs.
2 eggs.
That is funny.
Okay, so I want to talk about the word crazy. So we talked about non-existent. And you know, I feel like the word crazy can be used in so many different ways. And and sometimes it's almost like it has a negative connotation, like, oh, she crazy. Oh, she crazy, you
Yeah,
know. And so let's first define crazy as it relates to controlling your crazy.
sure. So crazy by my own definition is the the inability to control emotions that shouldn't be revealed to a guy that you're not in a relationship with. And the reason I put so much weight on the inner relationship is because more than likely it's a safer space when he is your man, when you guys do have, share a title as boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever it is, husband, wife. The likelihood of it being a safer space is high.
Hmm.
So crazy is when you relinquish your control, whether it's great or small.
Okay.
Um, you know, and again, not using your emotional intelligence to kind of drive you, you know, in the direction to get your point across.
You're
Because
more
a lot
emotional than rational.
correct, and I get
Okay.
it. Let me say this. Men are guilty of using that word to
Hmm.
describe women sometimes for unfair reasons.
Yeah.
Like if they're caught cheating, she's
Hmm.
crazy. If they're
Yep.
trying to get out of a lie, she's
She's
crazy.
crazy.
If they want to cheat and they're telling another woman, "Oh, my ex is crazy." So I
Crazy.
get it. That word
Hmm.
definitely has a negative connotation. However,
Hmm.
women have to be accountable for what we do. Put men aside for a second. This is not
Yeah.
about them. What about
Hmm.
the stuff that we do, right? The multiple calling back to back, searching through his phone, and
Oh yeah.
he's not your wait. You're searching through the man's phone, searching through his dresser drawer, his car arm, console, driving by his job, stalking
Mhm.
his social media, Googling his ex, all those little
Oh my
things.
God, I've seen people where they get on like they create a whole nother profile just to I'm like that. Now that's great. I'm sorry. That's too much.
Too much, too much. So yes, crazy can be swinging a bat to his car, but it can also be kind of giving away all that emotional energy for a man who's not your man. And those little things, those
For a
little
man who's non-existent, right? He's non-existent and you're acting in all of these different ways.
yeah,
Crazy.
absolutely. Absolutely. So that's how I define crazy. Some women kind of shun away from the term altogether. I like to play a spin on the crazy. Um because I do believe, Gigi, as women who are filled with emotions and thoughts and all these things, we can be a little crazy sometimes. So can
Hmm.
men. But again, this isn't about them right now. All right?
Yeah.
Men can be crazy too. Um,
Hmm.
but I believe all women, we have that. And every day you work on controlling emotions so that you don't exert unnecessary, feelings or actions for a guy who's not your boyfriend or your fiance
Exactly.
or husband.
Exactly. Cherie said, preach. We preaching to the choir. We preaching, y'all. And Michelle said, y'all are preaching. LOL. So it is so true. So we want to, as women, because I believe in my whole platform is all based on confidence. So that is confidence in every area and in every aspect of our lives, because I feel that without confidence we cannot do anything, but with confidence we can do everything. So that means in the dating world we can date with confidence and we can own that thing. I feel like it is important to stand up and as women to empower ourselves and to
Of
educate,
course.
because
Mm-hmm.
education is important. When you know better, you do better.
Absolutely.
And so what are some, so let's dive into some ways, because the whole title of the book is controlling your crazy. So we know, so we've defined non-existent, we've defined crazy, we know that sometimes we exhibit these crazy behaviors because of these men. And so teach us. And I feel like every woman has been guilty of a crazy moment. We all have, if we can just be honest.
Of
And it's
course.
almost like if you say, no, I have never done anything crazy, I'm like, you lying. You know
Mm-hmm.
you did something. You did something at one point. You might have had one moment of weakness for your crazy. And
Yep.
so for the person you love, for that man, whether he was non-existent or existent, you had a
Right.
moment of weakness, a moment of crazy.
Of
So
course.
help us figure out how to control. So let's get into some crazy controlling tips, some tips for controlling this so-called crazy, so we can tackle that.
Sure. So I want to go back to what you said first when you said, what does confidence look like?
Mhm.
Because you're big on confidence, and I couldn't agree more. Confidence is all about what you do and what you say. Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm talking about dating. So, what you do, how you carry yourself,
Mhm.
the things that you do around him that he may see, how you're portrayed on social media or any other
Yep.
platform.
Mhm.
Confidence is all in what you do. That's one part of it. All right. What he can see.
See.
Uh,
Mhm.
um, again, how you carry yourself, how you dress, just everything about you, your aura. And then what you say. That's a huge one in dating.
Yes.
um we all, not only do we relinquish our control sometimes, we relinquish our self-esteem.
Yes.
So when we ask certain questions or say certain things like, oh, why do you like me? Oh, you like that about me? Oh, I don't like, or just having the tendency to,
Not accept compliments.
yeah, just any little thing that doesn't exude confidence.
Confidence. Mhm.
And I get it. We're not always confident in every single aspect about ourselves, but at least in the dating stages with this man, you want to show him what you're made of. The reason why you guys are even talking or going on dates is because he probably liked something that he really saw. Give it to him, right? And not in a way that seems cocky, but give it all to him. Show him how confident you are. Show him how happy you are in your current state. Show him how well you execute your job role. I mean, there's just so many facets to being confident, but you are responsible for showing those things off, and you're also responsible for saying those things aloud,
Mhm.
right? And when you don't, I mean, he's human. He's going to pick up on, insecurities, low self
Mhm.
esteem. Speaking of insecurities, another major thing that shows a lack of confidence, questioning him about
Mm.
his whereabouts
Oh
and
yeah.
about
And
other
men don't like
women.
that. Oh, they don't like that.
Nobody likes that, Gigi. Nobody likes that, because I guarantee you, if you met a man and he was to question you about other men or your exes or what you're doing, and asking 20 questions about men, you'd be so turned off, he wouldn't
Mhm.
get another date out of you. So the
Nope.
same thing applies to him,
Mhm.
and those things show a lack of confidence.
Yeah.
So you
I
got to be
complete
careful what you're saying.
Mhm. You have to. And I completely agree with you as it relates to that. I feel that as women, and so I do a lot of confidence coaching. And so I have a segment that I call accepting compliments. And I feel that women sometimes have a hard time accepting a compliment. If somebody says you're beautiful, like there is nothing wrong with saying thank you. Like that's it. Like you don't even gotta, and it's a
Yep.
fine line. I think a lot of women they have a fear of being referred to as conceited or, and it's like, or arrogant or whatnot. And I'm like, no, that's not arrogance. That is confidence. That is somebody giving you a compliment and you know that, you know what, thank you,
Yeah.
and so that is so important. And the negative self-talk, and as well as like the complaining. Like I tell people all the time, my insecurities, I'm not going to tell that to a man because he's going to use on a bad day, he's going to use everything that you have said to against you. So if you're in the mirror and you're calling yourself ugly and you calling yourself fat and you talking about all the things you don't like about yourself and
Yep.
you're telling him all the, if he compliments you and you're like, oh, I don't like that about me, or why do you have to say that, or so on a bad day he is going to, it's almost like a gun that's loaded, like all of those
Exactly.
things that you have told him, those insecurities that you may be dealing with are going to be the very things that he uses against you. So I
Yeah.
try to make a point to women like, yeah, okay, we all have insecurities. We all have things that we're dealing with, whether it be internal or physical, or, things about our bodies that we don't like or whatnot. But I mean, just be mindful of how you're communicating, like what you're saying, right? Because
And
the moment
a
you
lot of
speak
times,
that thing,
right.
yeah,
A lot of times, Gigi, and I agree with you 100%. You may make the guy you're dating aware of something that he never even saw before.
never,
Because
girl, he didn't know you was fat.
you
He
talked
had
about it
no
and complained
idea.
about it so much, now he sees it.
Hmm.
You brought it to his attention. That's why,
Exactly.
again, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, you got to be careful of what you're saying,
Yeah.
what you're doing, and give him all the confidence you got.
Yeah.
Show him how amazing you are,
Yep. Yeah.
instead of the opposite.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, we done preached y'all to death with this confidence.
It's good though.
Okay,
It's good.
it's very good. So let's dive into the crazy. Like, how can we control our crazy?
Sure. You mind if I go into my book here?
Oh yes, I got mine. So let me know.
Okay. So I'm gonna go over. I'll probably go to the It's in the back. It's the
The,
CYCQs, the controlling your crazy quotes.
okay.
All right. So let's see. How can we control our crazy? All right. So right on page 81, I have a quote that's in my book, and this is powerful. The
Hmm.
reality of dating today is that women always, and I italicize that in the book, always have control with the men they meet. So it starts there. And I said
Okay.
it earlier tonight.
Hmm.
You are in control. We have so much control and we don't even realize it.
We don't know it.
Even accepting whether you want to go on a date with him shows that you're in control. The fact
Hmm.
that he has to ask you, would you
Hmm.
like to go out? Would you like ice cream? Already says you're in control. You
Hmm.
are dictating this thing. All
Yeah.
right. And it's not to say that you should be controlling, which is
Hmm.
something completely different, but that's the first step in controlling your crazy. Being in control and understanding that you're in control. Because when you relinquish that control, Gigi, that is when you kind of revert to crazy because
Yeah.
you've given everything to him.
Away.
So now all your actions and what you say are predicated on what he does. You've given it to him. So now you're at his every beck and call, which is
Mm,
causing you to go crazy emotionally.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
understand that you are in control. So that's one.
Okay. Y'all got that? We are in control. Let me
Yes.
type that in the chat for y'all.
Um, let's see. Another way to control your crazy. Um, all right. Here's one. Page 84.
Okay.
At the top, that quote. Women are in charge of what information they give and what information they take away from men the moment they meet them.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's a good one. Ooh.
Because you said something earlier. You tell him something, now he has ammunition. You tell him
Mm-hmm.
something, now he has something over you. You tell him something, he may potentially use it against you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about any other woman that's tuned in right now, but you use something against me that I shared with you in an intimate moment, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be pissed. And if I don't know how to control my crazy, damn it, I'm gonna go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in control of what you reveal. It doesn't mean you be dishonest. It doesn't mean you be secretive, but you're in control. It's that word control again of what you reveal, what you give, and what you take away from that man. It's
It's
all
true.
about you, which is a
Mm-hmm.
great thing. You're
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
driver's seat,
Yeah.
so when you understand that, the likelihood of you going crazy is very slim.
It's so true. I feel that sometimes as women, we may have a moment of vulnerability and we just want to share, or we just want to, allow that person to get to know us or to get to know where we were at a point in time. And sometimes you just have to be mindful of what it is that you're saying. Because a lot of times, too, it can be misconstrued.
Absolutely.
Something that you did when you were 16 years old, and that person could tie it back to, okay, you're like 30 years old now. Like, I told you I did something when I was 16 and you're going to use that against me at 30, really? But you'll be surprised, men will do that.
Of
And
course.
so we have to learn that we are in control, and we need to be in control of what we're saying as well as what we're choosing to take away.
Correct.
Love it, love it, love it, love it,
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
All right.
And one more thing, a tip for controlling your crazy. Again, understand that he is the non-existent boyfriend. Understand that he is your non-existent boyfriend. I remember when I was a lot younger, and I came up with this whole thing, and I used to say little things to myself. And not even I knew I was doing it, but it's not like I went out of my way to do it. So if I felt a certain type of way, like if he didn't call me back when he said he would, or maybe we were intimate and I felt like now he was going in another direction, I would always say, like, Tony, he's not your man. Tony, you knew what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, you knew what he said. I would say those little things to myself and talk to myself. And then I realized, wow, this is really keeping me in check. This is really keeping me in control, because I understood from day one, and it's now month 6. This man made no commitment to me. And if
Mm-hmm.
he can't make a commitment to me, why would he commit to sex? Why would he commit to an emotional attachment? Why would
Mm-hmm.
he commit to taking me out all the time? Why would he commit to all these things and we're not even in a relationship?
Mm. That's
So
true.
sometimes you got to talk to yourself. That's the
Mm-hmm.
way to control your crazy. Talk to yourself.
And be honest with yourself.
Be honest with yourself.
Like, that's
Yes.
real too. Like, you
Yes.
have to be honest with yourself.
Yes, you
You
do.
know, I'll be like, "Hey, self." Myself say, "Hmm," and I'm like, "Hey,
Right. You gotta
this
be
is
honest with yourself.
yeah." Because
You
if you're
do.
not, I think a lot of times, we not on purpose, but sometimes we paint a different picture. Sometimes we want it to be blue skies and flowers, and so we look past the weeds. And
Yep.
sometimes we have to learn how to be honest with self, and how to make sure that we see the rose, but we also see the thorn, because
Yep.
that's what the picture
Absolutely.
is. We have to have a view of the entire picture, not
Yep.
just the good part. Because I think as women, what we tend to do, especially with the non existent boyfriends, is we highlight the good. And then we just, all the bad, like, oh, we'll say things like, oh, he'll come around, or I can,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know, yeah,
yeah.
that whole notion. And so we have to be so honest with self, and we have to, like, we got to snap out of that. Like, we have to have self dialogue that is like, non-existent.
Yep.
Not
Yep.
doing it.
And another thing, Gigi, expectations. We have to let go of expectations for that guy. And a lot of women that I've talked to are like, what do you mean? I should have expectations for him, and I'm supposed to listen. The only expectations you should have are for things that have a contract, like
Ah.
the financing contract for your car, um,
Mm-hmm.
the mortgage statement for your house, leasing an apartment. Those things that have stipulations, right? Now you
Mm-hmm.
can set expectations because it's written, it's
Yeah.
there, and you can refer back to it, right? I expected my apartment to have this. I
Mm-hmm.
expected my loan terms to have this
Mm-hmm.
interest rate.
That's true.
But you ain't going to no contract with this man.
Especially if he's
So,
non-existent still.
especially if he's non-existent. So what you expecting?
Hmm.
And when you don't expect anything, you don't behave and react in a way in which
It's
you
true.
expect something.
You're
Just
also
because he
not
has a day
disappointed.
off.
The
Yeah.
disappointment is just not as, when you set these high expectations and, you're waiting for this man to move mountains for you. And in his mind, he's, you know, not nowhere near that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You set
Exactly.
yourself up.
You do. You really do. You really do.
Yeah, yeah.
So
This ha-
yeah.
this has been great. This has been so good. I am learning so much. I'm like a big fan.
Yes, I do. And I thank you so much for your support. You have been there from like the inception of controlling your crazy.
Cause I was like, she talking to me. I'm so crazy. Help me. When you started off the blog, I was like, yes, I need this. This is so true.
And that's
Didn't
so
know this
funny.
was happening
Yeah,
to other women.
in my beginning stages, before I knew a lot about technology, I was sending out my blogs through Gmail, just regular Gmail.
Yeah, yeah,
No
yeah.
MailChimp, no GoDaddy. And I
Yep.
remember one time you wrote me and was like, this is good. And I'm like, wait, no one's supposed to actually write me back. But it was a Gmail account. So,
It was.
and that was my expectation. I didn't expect anybody to write me back, but it was so good. You wrote me on my Gmail, this is so good, Tony. And I'm like, dang, no one's supposed to write me back. This is supposed to be a blog that I sent out and you're just supposed to read it. But
Leave it
yeah.
to me though to defy the odds. Leave it to me to be like the one person out. Like, okay,
No, it's all good. It's all good because I love
yes,
that you were actually taking away something from what
yeah,
I had to say. So I
yeah,
really appreciate that. But I've
yeah. It's been
grown
awesome.
since then.
Yes, it's been awesome. And I've been able to see you like throughout the journey, like with from the blog to the book and everything else. And I just love it, absolutely love it.
Thank you.
And so I am so proud of you. I'm excited. Please tell everybody like where they can get their copy.
Absolutely. So you can get your copy of Controlling Your Crazy While Dating Your Non-Existent Boyfriend on
It's time for bed.
controllingyourcrazy.com. So I'm everywhere as Controlling Your Crazy. Instagram, Facebook, and of course my website, controllingyourcrazy.com. You can buy the book there. If for any reason you want to go on a major platform and purchase the book, it's there too. But I would love for you to purchase it on my site, controllingyourcrazy.com.
Awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Controllingyourcrazy.com. You guys heard it here first. She's on the same Controlling Your Crazy on all major platforms. This is awesome. Any last words, Tony? We're like 1 minute over.
Yes.
But that's okay.
So
We do that all the time.
actually two last things. So
Okay.
the first thing is have fun. Ladies, have fun in dating. Dating is all about having fun. Even if he doesn't turn out to be your Prince Charming, have fun and understand he is your non-existent boyfriend. So that's that. Secondly, if you are listening and you are local, I am having an event on Sunday, May the 2nd called Crazy Pillow Talk. So, you have pillow talk with your man, but this is Crazy Pillow Talk, and we're doing it with ladies only. We're going to have open bar. We're going to have appetizers. We're going to have a guy there who's going to, do a Q&A session with us. We just have so much in store. It's going to be a good time, a good vibe, good music. So all my ladies, if you're local, please come out Sunday, May the 2nd. You can get tickets right on my site. I won't even confuse you with any other place. controllingyourcrazy.com.
All right. So let me just post that so they know. Crazy pillow talk. Oh my God, I wish I was still in South
I
Florida.
know.
You
We
know,
miss
I
you
would be
here.
live and in the place. Sunday, May 2nd, Crazy Pillow Talk. I am posting that right now. So you guys remember, check it out. Get your tickets. I'm sure it's going to be an awesome time. It's going to be so amazing. I wish I could come. So, guys, get your tickets. Crazy Pillow Talk, Sunday, May the 2nd. Tony, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sure we'll have to have you back on sometime soon because
Yes,
I know
thanks
the
for
people just
having
love
me,
you.
Gigi. I appreciate it.
And you know, I love talking to you. Me and you have always had great conversations.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Confidence Tea Infusion. So, if this is your first time tuning in, we have Confidence Tea Infusions on. Usually we're on Sunday nights, but Tony was a special case, so I had to work with her and her schedule. So tune in. May 2nd actually is our next event. And so I am gonna have Miss Clarissa here with us, and she went from 500 pounds to, I want to say now she's at like 200 pounds. And so she's going to be talking about how to maintain confidence during those transformations, during those times when if we were either heavier, or if we went from big to small, small to big, if we had short hair, lost the hair, whatever, so while you're going through transitions, how to still maintain that confidence as women that we all need. So tune in May 2nd or catch the replay. That way you guys can get your dose of confidence tea. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I do have a freebie for everybody that tuned in. You guys know I just love to give y'all stuff. And so I wrote basically a guide, and it's just the path to dating authentically. And that is with your self-esteem, being confident, and knowing that, I am going to do this thing and I am going to date with confidence. So you guys can download that. I'm going to post that in the chat right on my website. And it's absolutely free. It don't cost you a dime. Downloads right to your computer, and you just have that guide. If you're single and you're dating and you're still in that pool and you're still trying to distinguish between, all of this, the non-existence and the crazies and all of this stuff that we have to deal with now, the online dating versus the, dating in person. It has definitely transitioned. Dating is not what it used to be. And so pick up that guide and, inform yourself on how to date authentically. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Coach Tony, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This has been an amazing time, and I hope you enjoyed a nice cup of confidence tea. See my cup. So have a good night, everybody. And until next time, have a good night.
Bye. Thanks, Gigi.
Bye.
Bye.